Hello, hello. Doing my test. Hello, hello. Okay, yeah, I can hear myself. Hi, Edie. Did you come to my live last week? I don't know. Hi, pure vanilla. Why do you hate pure vanilla? Okay lah. I mean, I also don't like pure vanilla. Hi everyone. I hope that like this session will be just nice and just in time for you all to maybe help you all like revise your P5 exam, right? So Edie, you also don't like pure vanilla. Okay, we just hang on for a few minutes. Okay, and then I'll start at 7. Today we're gonna go through some P5 revision. Okay, P5 term 4 revision. Okay, so before we, I mean now there's not a lot of hi Saya. Yeah, before we start, right? Okay, so we're gonna run some advertisement on the online lesson. Okay, if you're interested in attending some online lesson from the comfort of your own home, then you can consider joining our online lesson, right? So if you are doing your PSLE next year, then I'll be the one that's taking the online lesson. Okay, and then for those who are, I think you will also see some familiar faces, right? Especially those who are taking the live, like Teacher Jody, Teacher Felicia, Arena. There's a new one also. Sherilyn. Okay, I think they're also all doing the live. Okay, shameful commercials. Well, we got to earn a living. Okay, so for providing free lessons for y'all. Yes. This is for P5. All right. Okay, so we're gonna run some advertisement. We work for food. We don't work for free. Okay, so I think by now, if you have like siblings or friends who are in PSLE, like I think they're already like having fun. Like I think by now they will be bored of like not like having nothing to do, right? So I think next year this time, if you're in P5 this year, right, will be your time. Remember, fight for the marks. Fight for the marks. Oh, okay. Sushi Monster, you were in my the webinar, the October bootcamp. Is it? Are you the nugget or something? Because there's only Eden Boy. Okay. I kind of don't remember. But I remember there's this nugget that asked me, like, do I remember him or not? Okay. Hi, Adrian. Okay. Hello, everyone. Okay. I think we can slowly start the session, right, with the first question while I let me just switch off the advertisement. Okay, so today we're going to run through our P5 revision. Okay, so this one is P5 science, right? It's just a term 4 revision, right? I believe most of y'all, the examination for P5 should be next week, right? I'm not sure if any one of y'all had it this week, but I don't think it's that early. Probably next week, right? Okay, Sushi Monster, Eden Boy. Okay, good. I mean, hi, Blur Girls. Oh my goodness, Paige. Long time no see you. What's up? What's up? Okay. Come, let's get started with question 3. Sorry, not question 3. Question 1 first. All right. Okay, question 1. Substance T has a boiling point of 190 degrees Celsius. All right, and a melting point of 90 degrees Celsius. So boiling point 190, but that is quite high, and a melting point of 60 degrees Celsius. All right. So hopefully by now you just said the answer. What did I say about the answer? Okay. Oh, okay. Yep. Someone is spamming the answer already. Is fine. I mean, okay. But I think on top of knowing what's the answer, you got to. I'm sure I can offer a few more tips for you and tricks for you, right? To teach you a few stuff. Okay. So okay, I hope you all can see the question. Okay, boiling point. Hopefully you all remember, right? It's the point where they change from liquid to gas, right? Okay, and then melting, right? Melting is solid to liquid. right? So at which of the following temperature will substance T, okay, have a definite volume? Let me change the color to this. You went through PSLE iron question. PSLE iron question. Oh yeah, the iron question. Okay, yes. Yep. You all saw that also. You're spending too much time on TikTok. Hi, yes, this is for P5. All right, this is for P5. We're going through P5 science, P5 topics. Okay. Okay, so the question is asking at which of the following temperature will substance T have a definite volume, but okay, no definite. Okay, let me get my blue highlighter. I like the blue highlighter. Okay, and no definite shape, right? So, for recommendation, okay, sure, right. Okay, so definite volume, right? Definite volume, hopefully you all know it is either solid, okay, or liquid. I'm just going to write the short form, right? I don't want to write everything out. And then no definite shape is definitely liquid, okay, or gas, right? So, okay, in this case, that means you should be looking for the liquid state, okay? Because only liquid state will, okay, sure. Don't let me know about that. Okay, only liquid state will have a definite volume and no definite shape. I think this one, by now you all should know. Yes, still no specs. I'm lazy to wear my specs already, so just let it be. Okay, although I'm having difficulty, but I think it's fine. I still can manage. All right, so you need to look for liquid state. Right, if you're not very sure what is the liquid state or where is the liquid state, right, you can always draw like a line. Okay, so a melting point, freezing point is kind of like 60, right? So you can draw a line from here to here, you can draw a line from here to here, and then 190 is the boiling point, right? Anything higher. So if you want liquid, it's got to be between here to here, okay? Because between 60 to 190 is going to be in the liquid state, right? Anything lower than 60 is going to be solid state. Okay, anything higher than the boiling point, 190, is going to be in the gaseous state. All right. So the only answer, which is between 60 to 190, I think all of your yes already got it. Yes, number 3 is the answer. Okay, but remember, on top of like on top of just knowing the answer, I think there's a lot of things that you can learn about the question. All right, so that's what I'm trying to do, trying to teach you a bit more than just seeing the answer. Okay, let me read through the chat, see if there's anything that I need to address. Yes, okay, this is P5, right? So, okay, what else? Nah, okay. Wait, I don't understand. Wait, I only see icons. Okay, I see a snail, I see a seal, I see a chicken, I see a dog. Okay, what is it that you don't understand? Because like if you just say you don't understand, is I also don't know how to explain, or what to explain to you. Okay, uh, because there are many points in this question where you need to understand. Okay, let's go through electrical system. Yes, there's an electrical system question later. Okay, I think electrical system is also kind of like one of the winners. I want to be your friend and I will be leaving TikTok for a while to study. Sure, study hard. Okay, so if you don't understand, I'm not sure at which point you don't understand. All right, so I'm not sure if you understand what is boiling point, melting point. Right, that's the first thing you need to understand. Isn't that okay? So after you figure out what is boiling point, melting point, the next thing is you need to figure out what state does the question want. Okay, so like what do they mean definite volume and no definite shape? Okay, so definite volume, okay, you got to narrow it down to either solid or liquid. All right, no definite shape is either liquid or gas. Right, so if the question asks you at which of the following temperature will substance T have a definite volume and no definite shape, that means the question is asking for the liquid state. All right, so question is asking for the liquid state, which is why I am looking for the liquid state over here. Okay, because only liquid will have a definite volume and no definite shape, right? Okay, so hopefully you understood this part. Right, so once you understand that you need to look for the liquid state, then the next level is to understand this, okay, which is like the scale where the substance will go through a change of state. Okay, good, thanks. Any other? Draw two lines and label MP. Okay, yeah, you can draw a scale. This is a bit like your like a, I don't know, model, if you want to see it like a model, right? Okay, any question? Like, what do you mean by that? Okay, I thought you. Oh yes. Okay, good, good. Okay, luckily. All right. Anyone still don't understand? Still got question to ask? Okay, if not, I'm gonna move on to the next question because I think somebody wants me to like run through electricity question, right? Okay, good. Let's go through question number 2. All right, the diagram below shows two batteries connected to 5 identical light bulbs, A, B, C, D, and E. Okay, all the 5 light bulbs lit up initially. Okay, when they tell you all the 5 light bulbs lit up initially, right, they are trying to tell you that all the bulbs are working fine. Okay, bulbs are working fine. All right. Okay, so the question is asking when one of the, so the question gives you a situation, right? When one of the light bulb is fused, it is observed that only 2 bulbs lit up. Okay, which 2 bulbs will continue to light up? All right, so there's kind of like 2 things which you need to figure out. So number 1, you need to figure out like a which bulb, right? Number 1, which bulb, okay? And then after that, number 2, which are the, after you figured out which bulb, then after that, the next thing you need to figure out is which 2, okay, I'm gonna say remain, okay, lit. Okay, I think most of you already got the answer, okay, but there's no need to spam through the answer because I'm gonna run through all the options. Why is it not B and C? Yeah, okay, so that is like a very good question, right? Because if a student don't understand, then how do you explain why is it not B and C? Okay, this question is gonna be a bit difficult for you to run through them one by one. Okay, instead you should look at this circuit and understand a few important points. Okay, I think the first, yes, it is. Someone is asking you a question. Why is it not B and C? Because maybe your name looks smart and you were like spamming the answer. Okay, anyway, okay, I will continue with my explanation, right? If you look at E, okay, this is definitely not the bulb, right? Because if E fuse, then all the bulbs will not light up. Okay, so or will not light up. Okay, so definitely we're not gonna pick E. And then if you look at the other, how about D? Okay, if you pick if D fused, okay, all the other bulbs actually will continue to light up. Okay, so we are also not gonna pick D. D. Okay, then or. Okay, I'm just gonna write a or, right, to represent all the rest will continue to light up. Okay, then if you look at A, okay, actually A is the answer. Right, I mean not A is the answer. A is the bulb that fused, because when A fused, these two, okay, B and C will not light up. Right? Fuse means the wire, the filament melt and broke. HFY. Okay. So when we say a bulb fuse, that means yeah, the bulb broke. You can think of it as the filament broke. Okay. So when A fused, okay, that means this two is not gonna light up. Actually, D and E will continue to light up. All right. So that means the answer is actually number 4, D and E. Right. But let me continue and explain about all the other bulbs also. Okay, if C fused, okay, all the other bulbs will continue to light up actually, and even B also. B and C, okay, all the other bulbs will continue to light up, right? Okay, if bulb something fuse does not allow the current to flow through bulb something as it is arranged in series bulbs B and C. do not receive the current. What is that? I'm confused. If bulb something, okay, is it if bulb A fuse, it does not allow current to flow through bulb B and C as it is arranged in series. Okay, in this case, is it arranged in series? Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, bulbs B and C do not receive the current. Okay, I think that is a vanilla. I think that's a good explanation. There's no Kahoot today, Sushi. Okay, so hopefully you understand that in this case the answer is actually number 4, right? Because number 4 is when A fused. Okay, when A fused, then D and E will light up. Okay, if it is A and B, I don't think there's any answer for any bulb that can fuse to let A and B light up. Okay, B and C also, I don't think there's any bulb that will fuse to let any bulbs light up. Okay, because B, C, and D, right? When either B, C, or D fuse, the rest of the bulbs will continue to light up. Okay, only E, when E fuse, then everything will not light up. Okay, so any question regarding electricity? I don't know about the next question. I usually try not to jump to the next question. Let's focus on this question first. Why parallel circuit bulbs are brighter? Okay, so the way we explain why parallel circuit bulbs are brighter is we say that because they do not share electric current, or they have separate path for electricity to flow through. That's why the bulbs will receive more electric current. Okay, so that's why in a series circuit, they will share the electricity, right? That's why each bulb will receive lesser electricity. Maybe I can straight away draw a circuit for you to see, right? So if let's say I draw a series circuit like this, right, and I draw 2 bulbs, okay, versus a parallel circuit, I draw 2 bulbs like this, okay, then like this, right? So like this, right? So electric current flows through this path. For a series circuit, there's only a single path, right? So these 2 bulbs, they're going to share the electric current. Okay, however, in a parallel circuit, right, the electricity can either flow through this path, okay, but this path, there's only 1 bulb using the electric current, or the electricity can flow through the other path, right? So the other path is also just 1 bulb, right? So that's why they do not share the electric current. That's what it means by like, do they share their electric current or do they not share, right? So that's why some of it will be brighter, some of it will not be brighter. Are we going to do Kahoot? No, there's no Kahoot today. Okay, Saya. Okay, yep. Kahoot was last session. I'm not sure if you were around last session. Okay, so I hope you all know like the difference between a series circuit and a parallel circuit. So like series circuit bulbs will be dimmer cause the battery must spend like more energy to you cannot say the battery will spend more energy. You should say the light bulb will receive less energy, because the battery can only give out a fixed amount of like energy. It cannot give out more, right? Yes, okay, so is each bulb receiving less energy? Yes, okay, good. These are all very good questions. Okay, if you have a question like this, let me know. I'll try to answer. I'll try to explain in details. Okay, if not, I think I'm gonna go to the next question slowly. Okay, next question is on light. All right, so this question is also not too difficult. Okay, Garel, I think it's Garel, stood under a lamp as shown below. He then walked from B to C, and then to D. Okay, then to D. So he walked from here to here, right? Then do a U-turn and back to D, right? Well, how come you see so many different answers, like 1, 2, 3? Is it Edith or Edith? I always have issues pronouncing. Like another name which I always have issue is Eileen and Eileen. I always don't know how to pronounce Eileen, Edith, Edith. Hi teacher, I just started journaling. I think it's a good habit to do journaling. Write down your feelings so that you can also recap some of the good experiences, positive experiences that you went through in the day. Okay, let me get back to the question first. All right, so he walked from B to C and then to D. Right, so B to C here and then from C to D. Okay, in a straight line. So which graph shows the length of the shadow change with time? All right, so in this case, the first thing you must know is from B to C, right, the shadow will increase, right, increase. Okay, then after that from let me change the color. Okay, C to B, the shadow will decrease. All right, then after that from B to D, the shadow will increase. Okay, once you establish this, all right, then I think you shouldn't have issues finding the answer already. All right, because I think there's only one answer that shows so. Okay, the first thing is, oops, I just realized I wrote wrongly. Okay, increase. B to C increase, so this shows an increase, this shows a decrease, this shows increase. All right, so you can already eliminate this, right, number 2 out. Okay, because the length of the shadow doesn't decrease. All right, so then next from C to D, right, the shadow decreases. So look for one that changes. Okay, so there's only 1 and 4 that shows that the length of the shadow changes, right? So number 3 also out. Okay, because number 3 over here, no change. Okay, I need to scroll up a bit. So number 3 also out. Okay, so we already eliminate 2 and 3, right? No, you cannot know my address. My address is Singapore. I live in Singapore. Okay, so once you realize that 2 and 3 are out, then you are left with 1 and 4, right? But 1 and 4 also very clearly, because there's a last part from B to D, right, which the length of the shadow increases. So there's only this part over here that shows the length increases. Okay, this part shows a decrease and it doesn't increase. So this part is wrong. All right. Okay, so once you understand what is happening, right, number 4 is also out. Okay, then you should get the correct answer. The correct answer is option 1. All right. You go to Sengkang CC AGrader. Okay, if you go to Sengkang CC AGrader, then on a Saturday you will be able to see me. Okay, because the line is going down. Okay, let me see if there's any question. Okay, let me go back to the point where someone, Karin, right, said that she started journaling. Okay, then after that, Edith, your Iris. Okay, I will try to remember. I said my name is Iris. Okay, Iris. But why don't you? Wait, is the up means that the shadow is bigger? Yes, him. Okay, so going up means the shadow becomes bigger. Okay, because you can see the scale over here says length of the shadow, right? In the recent MCQ 60 marks question, whoa, why did it suddenly scroll away? Oh no. Okay, so no, you cannot know my address. Okay, Iris, if you go to Sengkang CC AGrader, okay, you can say hi to me on a Saturday. Right. So I know it's 1. Okay, Mason. Okay, yes, good. Mason, you go to Tampines branch. Oh, next time if you go to Tampines branch, then help me say hi to the center manager there. Sometimes I'll go there also, but usually it's either for, I think, to do lesson observation or last time I went there for relief lesson, but not too frequent. Okay, looks like no one have any question, right? So can you see the answer? The answer is number 1. Okay, wait, who thinks number 4? It can't be number 4 because number 4 there's only 2 changes. Okay, so in this question, in this case there are 3 changes. So 1 increase, decrease, then increase. All right. Tomorrow math exam. Okay, good luck for your math exam. Right. Mathematics is one of those subjects where it's very difficult to do last minute revision. I mean, you can revise like all the past questions that you have done, right? Hopefully, and then recap all the solving techniques that you went through. Can't see the choices. Okay, the choice is number 1 for this question. All right. For me, it's science exam tomorrow, so I'm watching. Yes, him, just nice. Okay, tomorrow is science, so I'm gonna help you revise your science today. Okay, let's move on to question 4. Cadence Hunt objects K, L, and M and some weights on the beam balance. Okay, beam balance is something that we use to compare mass, right? Okay, as shown below. Okay, so there is a circle, there is this shape, there is a star. Okay, I forgot what is the name of this shape, a trapezium. Okay, and then there is a heart shape. Okay, so basically there are 4 objects. Let me kind of like maybe color code them. Okay, this I will color it as green. Okay, the star I'll color it as orange, and then the heart, okay, I will color it as blue. All right. Okay, so it's a bit easier to see. Okay, so based on the information provided, which of the following statements are correct? Okay, they're asking for the correct statement. Okay, so A says that object M has the least mass. Object M has the least mass. Is A correct or wrong? A is correct. Okay, very good. Because you see, this is balanced. That means K and this trapezium is the same mass. L and trapezium is the same mass. Okay, which means that these 1, 2, and 3 objects are of the same mass. Okay, so if all these are the same mass, then in this case, this is lighter, right? Because it's going up, so it is lighter. Okay, that means M has to be the lightest. If the object is put up the beam, it will be lighter. Yes. Okay, so this is the heavier object. Okay, but this object is the same mass as all the rest of the object. Okay, so we know that number A is okay, right? It's okay. You want to pick A because they're asking for the correct statement. Okay, next. Objects K and L. K and L is the yellow and the orange. Will not be balanced when both are placed on the beam balance. No, they are the same, right? Okay, so K and L, you can see here and here, they should be the same mass. Okay, so B is wrong. They will be balanced. Okay. Okay, then next C. Objects that occupy more space have more mass. Oh, this is definitely not true. This is a concept error, right? So objects that occupy more space have more mass. Like if you have a huge balloon, okay, versus like a small metal cube. I don't know which one you rather be hit by. Sorry, okay. I think I'll rather be hit by the big balloon than the small metal cube. Okay. So D, objects that occupy the same amount of space may not have the same mass. Okay, so this is also, D is correct in itself, okay, as a concept. Yep, so just ask yourself questions like that. Okay, that's how I learned science last time, right? Would you rather be hit by a balloon, like a big balloon, or a small metal cube? Okay, so it means that correct is A and D, right? A and D is option 2. Okay. Okay, let me scroll through, see if there's any question. It's a bit hard to see, but I will try my best. What about OEQ? Wait, Iris, what do you mean by what about OEQ? Like how to improve OEQ? Is it the weight is 1 kg? For M, the weight is 1 kg. Oh, hold on a minute. This is a different shape. Oh my goodness. If who is the one that pointed it out? Oh, HFY. Wow, very sharp eyes. Okay, I didn't even see that these two are different shape. And it's different kg. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, but anyway, let me erase that away. That means that should deserve a different color code. Let me put it as red because I got tricked. Okay, so 2 kg. But anyway, it doesn't change anything, right? Because if this is 1 kg, that means this is lighter than 1 kg, right? Does it change anything? No, because C and D is just like testing you on your science concept. Okay, it's only A and B which tests you on the objects here. All right. Okay, yes. Yeah, I got tricked. Oh my goodness. Okay, must be the light. I didn't see the 2 kg and 1 kg. So these are all just masses. Okay, so there's only three objects. There's only K, L, and M. All right. Okay, very good. Must be the specs. Yes, must be. I'm not wearing my specs. Yeah, now I can put that as an excuse. Good idea. Look behind me. Okay, any question? No question. Then I'm gonna move on. Yeah, only 30 people. It's good enough. Lesser people, lesser spams. Look behind. Who is behind? And why should I be looking at behind? That won't work again. I don't know what is gonna work, but okay, hold on. I'm getting notification from TikTok again. It's fine. Okay. Okay, let's move on to the OEQ section. Okay. Lesser people, lesser money. No. I mean, we're not getting paid. This is a free service. It's TikTok Live. So, yeah. Even if there's 0%, it doesn't mean I'm like, even if got 1 million person, I'm not gonna get a cent. No. Okay, yep. Mason, I don't know. Maybe it's for those influencer, then it works. But for me, I'm just a salaried man. Okay, rather get bonus. Yeah, thanks for teaching us with. Okay, let's move on to question 5. All right. Karen wanted to make a model of the human respiratory system. Okay, I hope you all had the chance to build this, because there is this experimental kit that I always buy for my students. Okay, then they can build it up very nicely. So you don't have to use the drinking straws and or they use plasticine tape. Yeah, it's very troublesome. Okay, there's a very nice kit which you can buy for I think a few dollars, which will build up this respiratory system model very nicely. Okay. Okay, number one, name the parts of the respiratory system that matches with the material above. Okay, so usually the plastic bottle will represent the rib cage, right? The balloon represents the lungs, okay, and the straw represents the windpipe, okay. All right, so if they're asking about the balloon, right, the balloon will represent the lungs. Pretty straightforward. Drinking straws represents the windpipe. All right. Okay, respiratory system is kind of like quite easy, right? Circulatory system actually is not so difficult. All right. I mean, they're not considered toys. They are just like science experiment kit. Okay. Rib cage is not part of the respiratory system, right? So this will be part of the skeletal system. That's why over here, when they ask you to name the parts of the respiratory system, right, it's only for these two, the lungs and the windpipe. All right. Okay, we move on to part B. Which part of the skeletal system, okay, which part of the skeletal system does the plastic bottle represent? Okay, so this one you already know, right? And the next part is how does it help the respiratory system? Okay, so now you already know that represents the rib cage, right? Protect the lungs, yes, very important, right? Because most of your core organs is in the middle, right? Your lungs, your heart, what else? Your intestine and kidney and all that. Okay, so it represents the rib cage, right? So it can protect the vital organs, right, such as the heart and lungs. Okay, to prevent them from getting damaged easily. How does it help the respiratory system? Okay, but that shouldn't be the answer, right? How to share the life? I have no idea also. Okay, let me answer the first part, right? Which part of the skeletal system? This is the first thing I need to address. Then number two is how does it help, right? So it is the plastic, okay, bottle represents the rib cage. Okay, but protecting the vital organ is not really how it help the respiratory system. I think in this case is it is able to move outwards. Okay, when we inhale, because when we inhale, our lungs will expand, right? So it allows space for the lungs to expand. Okay, I'm gonna go with that answer. I think that will be the better answer. The cage, it can move outwards. Okay, when we inhale, okay, to allow more space, okay, for the mm, lungs to, okay, expand, okay, and um, more air, okay, to enter. All right. So many teacher in life left-handed you and no, I'm right-handed. I think it's because it's kind of like reflected. Okay. So this is my right hand. This is my left hand. I'm not sure if teacher Arena is left-handed. I think is this is my left hand. This is my right hand. Okay, I'm writing with my right hand. Okay, so hopefully you understand how to answer this question, right? It represents the rib cage, so it can move outwards when we inhale, so that there's gonna be more space for the lungs to expand, or okay, never mind. For more air to enter. All right. Yeah, sushi. I think it's because it's kind of like a mirror image or something. That's why to you it's kind of like this is my left, but this is my right hand. That's left. Yeah, this is my right hand. I'm pretty sure I'm right-handed. This is my right hand. This is my left hand. Why am I like getting confused again? This is my left hand. This is my right hand. Okay, it's kind of like you gotta flip around, right? Okay. Any other question? Are we ahead or are we behind? Let me see how many more questions do we have. Oh, okay. I think we're kind of like slightly ahead. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run some shameless ad for a few minutes. Okay, so if any one of you are interested in like improving your PSLE science next year, okay, I'll be the one that's teaching P6 science next year. And then if you're in P5 or you're in P4, you want to also like next year you're in P5, you can also join teacher Julie's science class, right? She will be teaching P5 next year. And if you want to improve in your maths and English, also, yep, of course, you can join Teacher Arena or Teacher Felicia also, right? I'm sure you all would have attended their live also, and you know that they are very good in teaching maths and English also. Okay, so you want to join? Okay, yes, join my class. All right, then I'll see you. Okay, let me just switch it off and let's move on. Put the answer back. Okay, yes. Sorry. Wait, Paige, you are like, what level are you? Okay, I'm confused. I thought you are like some secondary school kid or something, Paige. P5? Oh, okay. I thought you are like P6 or something because like you're always correcting my English. I never really learned ribcage protect lungs part late. Okay. That one I think is kind of like a general function of like most of your skeletal parts. Okay. So now you know that the ribcage will help to protect the lungs. You're in P5. Okay. You are a P5 little girl. Okay. I thought you are like secondary school big girl. That's why like every time you correct my English, then I'm thinking like, this girl must be very good, must be in secondary school. But no, even better. You're a P5 girl that is very good in English. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next part. All right. HFR, you're P4. Okay, that's good. I mean, science is not really something that is very difficult. I think even for P4, all these should be pretty easily understood. Secondary school, don't waste time listen to this. You're so correct. If I'm like in secondary school, I also won't spend time listening to this. Okay, let's move on to question 6. Okay, diagram below shows how our blood travels in the human body. Okay, so this one is a very typical your respiratory system, circulatory system, right? They work together. Okay, if you look at this, I'm sure you know what is P and Q, right? P and Q are organs, so arrow W, X, Y, and Z shows the movement of blood. Okay, so you would have guessed that P is probably the heart, right? Which is basically what question part A is asking. Okay, so I'm bad at science, but CCA science leader and meet president. Wow, that sounds very impressive. But I think you should be pretty decent in science. Okay, I mean that's what my impression is of you, right? But since you're here, it shows that you're hardworking also. I think being hardworking is more important than anything else. Okay, so what is organ P? Organ P is definitely the heart. All right, so okay, I might as well write it down here. Okay, heart. Almost fail. Think of it positively. You passed. Just continue to move on and continue to improve, right? Then I'm sure you will get to top 3. Usually a student who kind of like just pass, is at a good position to move up. Okay, just continue to work hard. Okay, the first thing you of course must take note of is W, right? W is the one that is rich in oxygen. Okay, fail is okay. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you fail, pass, get AL1 or so on, right? I think different people will face different challenges, all right? So as long as you improve, okay, I think that will be fine. Yes, must reverse psychology. You cannot say I've almost failed. You must say I passed, but I can be better. Okay. So you need to pay attention to W, right, which is rich in oxygen. Okay, going here, that means this is also rich in oxygen. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight the rich in oxygen with green, and then after that, Y and X and Y will be rich in carbon dioxide. Okay, so rich in carbon dioxide or poor in oxygen. Poor in oxygen. Okay, so once you understand this, then we move on to the next part. Okay, the bar chart below shows the amount of oxygen. Okay, amount of oxygen in blood samples taken from W, X, Y, and Z. Okay, so the first thing I will look for is, of course, number 3, right? Because this should be rich in oxygen, right? Which is W. Okay, so I think this will be W. Then next will be Z, right? This will be Z, followed by Y. Then X will be the last one. Okay, so once you're able to figure this out, okay, I think you're in a very good position to answer the other question already. So match the correct movement of blood WXYZ to the blood sample that was taken from. Okay, so this one we've already done. Oh, they also gave you number 1, right, which I managed to match correctly. I think it's not too difficult to match them. Okay, so let's write down the answer. This is Y, this is W, and this is Z. Okay. Any question? What are y'all talking about? Y'all talking about mathematics. Okay, no question from y'all. Then I'm gonna move on to the next part. All right. Oh wait, Sushi, you got a question. Is it possible to do that like jabbing the syringe into your rib? Huh? What do you mean by jabbing your syringe? Jabbing the syringe into the rib? Okay, I'm a bit confused about your question. My friend, not so humble. AL2, just not AL1. Okay, I'm gonna move on and answer part C first. Okay, give a reason why the breathing rate increases. Okay, breathing rate increases when the person exercise. Okay, so breathing rate increase is about the exchange of gases, right? Okay, you want to exchange gases quickly because you want to take in more oxygen and get rid of the carbon dioxide quickly. All right, so that's the main idea which I'm gonna talk about for this question. Hold on, Sushi got a question. Is it possible to do? Okay, I still don't understand. You said like the question, like the question. Which question? You mean this question? Is it possible to do into your rib to get blood sample? I think there are better ways to get your blood sample than to jet into your rib cage. And I think it's going to be extremely painful to jet into your rib cage, I suspect. Usually you take your blood sample from your from your arm, right? Okay. So we don't take blood sample from the rib cage. I would think that's going to be extremely painful. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying that because during exercise you're gonna need more energy, right? So this more energy comes from respiration. Okay, so I'm gonna start off by saying that during exercise, then more energy is needed. Okay, hence the I'm gonna shift it up a bit. Breathing rate. Polio injection soon. Okay, is it like a mandatory thing for P6s or something? Okay, I'm not very sure. I'm not very up to date with all these health thingy that you all need to go through. Okay, hence the breathing rate is faster, right? Okay, to increase. Oh, it's like a mandatory thing for P5, is it? That means all the P5 will have to get the injection. Okay, hence the breathing rate is faster to to increase the rate of gaseous exchange. Okay, then taking in more oxygen. Okay, and remember to say remove carbon dioxide faster. Okay, and removing carbon dioxide faster. Okay, so usually I will start off by saying that because during exercise need more energy, right? But I've heard of some student who told me that their teacher don't recommend this, but I don't think it matters. Okay, therefore the breathing rate, right, needs to be faster. Can increase the rate of gaseous exchange. I think the rate of something is always like rate of evaporation, right? Rate of condensation is always very useful in science. Okay, so therefore you want to take in more oxygen and remove carbon dioxide faster also. Right? Okay, wait. HFY, what do you don't understand? I think this question should be something that you can relate because if you're in P4, you would have already done your body system also, right? So I think you should understand your respiratory system a bit better also. It's asking about like when you're exercising, let's say if you're running, playing basketball or swimming, okay, you realize that your breathing rate will be faster, right? Okay, then so the question is asking you how come your breathing rate is faster. So in science, we say that because during exercise you're gonna need more energy, right? So like you gotta exert more strength. Okay, if you want to see in a very simple way. Why only 16 viewers the last time? Because the last time I was on Wednesday. I think maybe on Wednesday there's more people. Then after that I changed to Thursday, right? So Thursday maybe there's lesser people. It's okay, and also it's the end of the year already, I guess. So maybe lesser people is watching. Exam is finishing. I don't know. Okay, or maybe need some sharing or cell is no longer tested. Yes, okay, but a bit wasted because cell is actually quite easy, right? Okay, But I think it's fine. If cell is removed, then you can have more time to focus on other topics. We only need to know that it is the basic building block of life. Oh, okay, okay, that's a good point. Okay, it is the smallest smallest living thing, right? Okay, light from the torch travel in a straight line. Oh, okay, Maverick, you're talking about the next part. Okay, let me quickly retreat. Okay, Jaya set up the experiment as shown below. So this is a very typical setup, right? You have a torchlight, okay, you have a wooden cube and a white screen. Okay, so I travels in a straight line, you will probably see a shadow form, right? So she moved the wooden cube to find its effect on the height of the shadow. She recorded the results in the table below. So the distance x is over here, right? Distance x, it is increasing. So distance is increasing. Then height of the shadow found on the screen. Okay, so when this distance increase, right, that means you're moving the torch away, right? So the shadow becomes smaller, which makes sense, right? Okay, because as you move further away, then the cube is going to block lesser light. So for part A, explain how the wooden cube form a shadow on the white screen. Okay, wait, just now who typed the answer? Light from the torch travel in a straight line and is blocked by the cube. Okay, so I think your explanation sounds a bit more like explaining why a shadow is formed. But the question wants you to explain how the wooden cube form a shadow. Okay, so your focus should be on talking about the wooden cube, okay, instead of anything else. Okay, yes, so you can say something like what Sushi is saying. The wooden cube is opaque, therefore it blocks light from reaching the white screen to form a shadow. Okay, so this is where the English part comes in, right? So I think, Paige, if you're very good in your English, when you're reading through the question, you need to understand what's the thing you need to talk about. Okay, so focus on the wooden cube, and your answer will be something like the wooden cube. You can say it's opaque or blocks light. Okay, the wooden cube is opaque. Um, which blocks the light. Okay, I'm gonna add in which blocks the light that travels in a straight line. Okay, to form a shadow. Okay, so talk about the wooden cube is opaque first, right? Then after that, subsequently, then you talk about the it blocks the light, okay, which travels in a straight line, okay, to form a shadow. Hold on, let me see any question. Okay, yes, I think Sushi, you got a very good idea of how to answer this question. Why do we stack plates on a rack to dry faster? More surface area, yes, more surface area. Okay, you can also allow the water to drip downwards, right? So these are usually the 2 points. If you're talking about those questions, right, that ask you why do you stack plates? Okay, so number one is expose to air. Number two is allow the water to drip down. Okay, done, right? Let's move on to the next question, part B. What is the relationship between distance x and the height of the shadow? Okay, so this one relationship question, right, is already shown clearly on the table. So as distance x increases, then the height of the shadow form decreases. Okay, so this kind of relationship question, be very careful. You need to talk about the changed variable first. Okay, changed variable followed by the measured variable. Don't change it around. Go slower cause it is early. No, we're only left with 8 minutes. 8 minutes, so it's like I still got 3 parts. So about 2-3 minutes for each part. 2-3 minutes is not a lot. Okay, so anyway, part B is also quite easy, right? So I'm gonna write it down. Okay, as distance x, okay, increases, then the height of the shadow it decreases. Today no break. Yes, it's only a 1 hour kind of like live, so no break. That's a lot of time. 1 hour is a lot of time. 8 minutes, a lot of time. Okay, so relationship question, I think by now you all should be very clear of how to answer it, right? As the distance increase, then the height of the shadow decrease. Okay, but why does the height of the shadow decrease? Because it blocks lesser light. Okay, then I'm going to answer part C. Explain why using the same wooden cube during the experiment ensures a fair test. Okay, so it is to ensure that the only changed variable, right, is the distance. And the size of the shadow does not affect, sorry, not the size of the shadow. The size of the cube does not affect the size of the shadow. Okay, so in a fair experiment, there can only be one changed variable, right? So, okay, wait, I'm blocking, but never mind. Okay, that's why the size of the wooden cube must not change, because the size of the wooden cube will also affect the measured variable, which is the height of the shadow. The only change in variable is the distance, yes, right? So that the only change in variable is the distance, and that the size of the wooden cube will not affect the height of the shadow. Okay, you can do something like that. But 6 hours left. Yes, 6 hours left to what, bedtime. Okay, so I'm gonna write down the answer. It is, can you all see, to ensure that only the distance between the cube, 6 minutes equals 6 hours, to ensure that only the distance between the cube, it affects the size of the shadow, and not the size of the cube. Okay, so to ensure that only the distance, right, will affect the size of the shadow, okay, and not the size of the cube. Okay, so try not to write those very general answer. I think some students will say like to ensure that there's only one change variable, so that it is a fair test. So next year in P6, I think for this kind of question, like teachers will expect you all to elaborate a bit more, right? So try to elaborate a bit more. Talk about details such as what is the measured variable, right? And what is the changed variable, only the distance, okay? So don't just give generic answer like the change variable. Okay, let's go. Last question. Yes, 4 minutes to do the last question. Shouldn't take too long. Okay, part B. Suggest the height of the shadow formed on the screen if the wooden cube of height 3 cm is used, given that the distance is 40 cm. What is the original height? Okay, the original height is 4 cm. Okay, so now they want to use a smaller one, 3 cm. Distance is 40, so the original distance of 40 is 10, right? So if let's say it becomes smaller, I suppose the size of the shadow will also become smaller. So any suggestion on what's a good answer? B says 7 cm. Iris say 5 cm. 5 cm I think a bit too small. Sushi 8 cm. Okay, I think 8 is a bit better. Right. I would think that 8 and 9 should be fine. Okay, but I don't think anything smaller than 8 will be reasonable because it's only a 1 cm difference. School teacher says the wooden cube is made up of opaque material for part A. Yes, yes, okay. You can also say the Wooden cube is made out of opaque material. Sure, that is also fine. Okay, so for the last question, the last part D, I think is either 9 cm, right? Or you can also say 8 cm. I think 8 cm is fine, but I think anything smaller than 8 may not be very reasonable. Of course, your answer cannot be 10 or bigger than 10 for the last one, okay? 7, I don't know, it's very difficult to tell. Maybe it will be accepted, maybe not, because it ultimately depends on what is the answer key guideline. Okay, but I would think that 8 and 9 is the safest lah. I think 6 and 7 a bit dangerous. Okay, because it's only like a 1 cm drop for the cube, so yeah, 6.7. Iris trying to be funny. Okay, any other question? Anyway, no, I'm not gonna say that. But I also don't understand why are you so fixated about those numbers. Is this online practice paper? Yes, you can actually download this paper from the AGrader website. You go to AGrader and then you look for the live portion, the TikTok live portion. Okay, you will actually be able to download this worksheet. Yes, page. Can say 9.999. Sure, I say 9.999. But not anything else. Okay, any other question? If no other question, then I'm gonna call it a night. Okay, still got work to do. This is online practice paper. It is, you can download the soft copy. So no, Josh. Okay, yeah, you can download the soft copy from the AGrader website. Just go to the AGrader website and look for the TikTok live portion. Even the next few weeks live, the worksheet is also out. Okay, my question is bye. Okay, any other question before I call it a night? Having exams soon? Yes, I think all the P5s are having exams soon. So you can actually download all these papers, but unfortunately, they don't come with the answer key. So if you want to, you can actually look through the live session. I think there's also the recorded live session, which is posted out. So you can look at the live session and go through the worksheet. I think this will help you in your revision. Okay. Okay. Bye. Do you have a pet? Yes, I have a dog. I have a very old dog, an 18-year-old dog. I have a Jack Russell. Don't get a pet. It's very troublesome. Show? How to show? He's sleeping now. I don't want to disturb him. Yeah, 18-year-old. If I lift him up, he might die. Okay, bye. I think maybe next live. Okay, then I will show you my dog if you're around page. Bye.